What's going on, guys? Welcome. Alright, so we're back in it. Second time around, Xenoverse 2. And the storyline is pretty much unaltered from the first one. We're running around playing the same old DBZ storyline that we've always played. They did improve it by making the city bigger and extending the story mode. And that's a plus or a minus depending on how into the single player aspect of the game you are. If you like, fighting Raditz and fighting Frieza, then that's that could be fun for you, raids and stuff. But this video is not going to be about that. It's not going to be about this offline aspect of the game. This video is simply talking about the fighting mechanics of this game and where it stands right now. So, this is probably the biggest problem that I have with Xenoverse 2. So, as we're looking at these clips that I've taken from various YouTubers online, you can see that there is a problem with the hit detection. So, if we look at these clips, there is what I like to call hit confirmation. So, they will confirm the hit, but you will not get the points. So, as you can see here, it's about to slow down. There's the first hit confirmation, the second hit confirmation right there, and then he comes in and actually ends up getting the attack off that he wanted, which to me is a big problem if you're looking for fairness and equality in the fighting game. And as you can see right here, slow down, hit confirmation again, and he comes in with the attack or the dodge that he wanted. There's the attack right there, so now he gets to do his combo. And this one here, when we slow it down, sometimes it does hit, but you're not even near the person. So as you can see, he's not even anywhere near this person. And again, here the hit will happen when he's nowhere near Goku, and that's to me is unacceptable. So when you've got bad hit detection and you tie it in with a system that allows you to do massive damage with infinite combo strings, it creates a huge problem. So as you can see here in these combinations, these are virtually death combos, but beyond being death combos, they're extremely easy to execute. We're not talking complicated button input mechanisms like Mortal Kombat, where you have complex directional movement as well as complex button input. But these are simply square, 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 combos. One button often, a lot of the times, combos. And that's unacceptable. And a lot of the proponents for the infinite combo system was, well, hey, if you get caught in the infinite, then you aren't very good at your defensive skills, and you're getting caught with your stamina being down. But actually, one of the big problems of the game is when you add all these things together, they all build on one another. The hit detection, the broken combos, and now we're adding in the broken vanish. The vanish of the game is incredibly cheesy, and I'll tell you why. The main reason being is it provides invincibility frames. You are not able to be damaged when someone is vanishing or when you're vanishing. And this creates a lot of problems. Okay, so I'm going to talk about those problems. Let me freeze frame it real fast. So I'm going to talk about those problems. The first biggest problem is not with the vanishing itself, but it's when you couple it with the hit detection I just talked about. So when you've got the hit detection that's off and people are getting hit when they're not near you, when you're hitting your opponent and it's not registering, but you're getting the confirmations, the vanishing makes this just so much more complicated because now people are vanishing away while the hit confirmations are being sent to the opponent, and then coming back for the counter. And then in addition to all of that, Xenoverse 2 was supposed to have dealt with the fact of running. People were not supposed to be able to run away at the end of matches because they have more health and just kind of bide their time to get that victory, causing the opponent to lose a substantial amount of points. The element they added was that dash attack, and vanishing just kind of puts that into the bracket of just obsolete. It doesn't do anything for you anymore. These vanishers are able to run still, and it's still a problem of the game. And I'm surprised that with all the updates they've had and all of the feedback from the community, that nothing has been done yet about this maneuver. Alright, damage scaling, death combos. So before this game came out, Rhyme Style shouted me out. Neo God Goku and I made a pretty solid point. about damage scaling. And I'm gonna show you here in some of these clips of my buddy Neo right here. He had proven a point of damage scaling. Uh, just watch this clip here. Watch how much damage Goku does when one combo. And Dr. Love was winning this match. You can rewind the clip, check it out for yourself. He had a good bit of health above Neo, and because Neo was able to get that stamina break off, he's gonna lose the match now. And you know, whether you agree with that or not, uh, you know, it's a big problem when you add in all the other things I'm talking about. So if you've got a poor hit detection and someone's invisible when they're invincible when they're vanishing around, and they land that combo on you that you dodged, that you got out the way of, but that hit detection messed you up. Now you're eating your whole life. It's not so fair. So damage scaling would have cushioned that, you know, but that's how I feel about it. But yeah, there are death combos in this game, and that's another issue that I'm surprised that no one has dealt with, and they just kind of swept under the rug. And this last part is frankly hilarious. I mean, look at this. We've got the super attacks in this game are just it's unreal. I mean, look at this clip. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable that they even allowed this stuff to make it past the final cut. And I put super attack spam at the end of this video because, frankly, it's been in a lot of DBZ games, and most fighters are able to deal with it. They're able to come up with systems of melee combat that can deal with the super attack spam. But if you look at the health of these people that they're at when they're taking these attacks, it's unbelievable to me that this is in the game. And again, it seems that even with the various updates that they've released, there's still attacks like Super Dragon Fist that still aren't being patched, that are still unblockable, unstoppable, and it just never ends. It never ends. So you know, and so let's just get into the conclusion of this video. And I have a bunch of clips up. I'm just laughing because I'm looking at some of my old gameplay while I'm going to be talking about what I think about the game. Just some of the old clips from my gaming past will be in the background, so just kind of you can ignore that or watch it and laugh or whatever. Um, so yeah, basically, what do I think about Xenoverse? It's subpar. Just like the last couple of Dragon Ball games that have come out since Raging Blast 2, it's subpar. I waited a while to drop this review because I wanted to see the progression of the game. Me and Neo were training for a while in this game. Neo was number 1 on leaderboards again for Xenoverse 2. I didn't really bother to compete in this game. When I picked my hands up on it, we were able to figure out a lot of the progression that the game is at now. We discovered the Goku Death combos, the Ki Blast, combo extensions, the Vanishing attack maneuvers, all very early on before they were widely used. You know, we were able to just kind of figure all that stuff out, and I realized that we were in for it again. You know, I played Xenoverse 1 extensively. I ranked number 1 on the leaderboards of Xenoverse 1. I played for a while, about 2 months, 3 months. Never went down below the top 5. And I hated that game. Me and Neo always joked about how we only played this game because it was DBZ. And if any other type of fighters were in this game, if it was Mortal Kombat coming up with this fighting system, it'd be a joke. And this game, I don't want to call it a joke. You know, I don't want to put too much hate out there, but it needs a lot of work. It does. That's the blatant fact. So the single player story mode, offline MMO aspect of the game, the fact you can play with your friends, the fact that it's a multi-person game and a community provoking game is all positive. That's all positive aspects of the game. But when we get down to the mechanics of the game, the fighting in the game, there's things on the server side of this game that's a real problem. Hit detection and is just unacceptable to me. I think I put it first in the video. Hit detection is just an unacceptable aspect that is in this game. There's no reason why such a widely played, widely popular Dragon Ball Z game, a big hit on the franchise universe, has these server side issues. Now that's putting aside, you know, if you agree with the death combos, if you agree with the super attacks in the game, you know, if that's what they wanted, the developers wanted to put in, by all means. But there's no excuse for these server side hit detection issues. And the fact that that's in the game, in the final cut, when this is a sequel, a sequel game, that issue was in the first game, says a lot about the type of work ethic that they're putting into these games. And I don't want to say that they didn't try, or that, whatever it is about Namco Bandai, I'm sure they did their best. But it just doesn't feel like they did. It doesn't feel like they did their best. And I feel like as the community deserves more, I feel like we deserve more. We've been with the DBZ franchise for 10 years since Raging Blast, so it's been quite the ride. Maybe even longer if you count Burst Limit. And it's been quite the ride for the DBZ community. I was there from Raging from Burst Limit. Actually, I started out in Burst Limit, so I've been here really since the beginning of these online console games, and been low key underground. And I've been seeing ever since Raging Blast series ended. I've been seeing a lot of they just haven't been able to nail it. I don't know what it is with the new system, but they need a lot of work. And a big part of the work that they need is just getting down to basics. There should be an offensive system that requires skill to learn and skill to implement. There should be, excuse me, a defensive skill, a defensive aspect of the game that you're able to counter opponents, you're able to defend opponents, and you're able to stop opponents from escaping by cheap means, such as running and stuff like that. If you look at games like Raging Blast, if you look at other fighting games, and I don't like to drop other fighting games, but you kind of have to, because there's no reason to reinvent the wheel here when we're dealing with the fighting mechanics. So when you look at other games like Dead or Alive, when you're looking at other games like Mortal Kombat, you don't have that problem. You don't have the problem of people running from you. Okay, and Dead or Alive is a 3D person game. You don't have the problem of people running. So, it's a problem that Xenoverse needs to address. The fact that super attacks are just glitched. They're simply glitched. If you need to rewind the clip, look at the first one that I put in there. It's glitchy. Whether they want to keep the damage levels as high as they are for the super attacks, that's up to them. And I'm not gonna say that's cheap or not, but they need to fix the basic glitches of this game. And I cannot give this game a positive review because it's not a positive experience. When you play Xenoverse and you lose a match, you're not thinking to yourself, man, I need to get in the training room and I need to train. I need to get in the training room and learn this and learn that. And that's how I felt when I played Raging Blast. I felt, man, I need to learn how to snap vanish better. I need to work on that skill and really focus. Or I need to learn these combos. I need to learn where the links are. I need to memorize this. Or when you play Mortal Kombat, man, I need to get that 40%, 50% combo off. I need to get that down flawlessly. You don't feel that way. When you play Xenoverse, what do you feel? You feel animosity towards the system. You feel like, oh crap, I hit you, mother, or man, like how this guy's gonna run now, and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to win. He's got no stamina left. He's running. You don't feel like you need to train. You feel like there's a serious problem with the core aspects of the game that's out of your control, and that's why I have to give this a negative review, because the game just feels like you're out of control. You don't have the control that you need in a fighting game to feel where you're in the driver's seat. It feels like it's been stripped from you, and it's sad. It's sad. It's a sad day for DBZ community. And we love Goku, we love Vegeta, we love these games, we love to play as our favorite characters. And it's sad seeing some of these channels that were all about, like, oh, I'm gonna go in on Xenoverse and I'm gonna fight this person and fight that person, kind of resort to these silly little RP shows or these antics, these combo demonstration videos, because they know that the game itself isn't a fighting game, and it isn't really a very good MMO either. I've played MMOs. I was big on Star Wars Galaxies. I'm very good at Star Wars Online. That game has its own problems that I might address in another video. And I do well in MMOs. I'm familiar with the concept of MMOs, and this doesn't feel like one. The hub that they have created, that's supposed to be this RP central city where you can interact with players, is limited because there's no real freedom of dialogue, so you're kind of limited to interacting by emojis basically. You're interacting with emojis, and that's all fun, but that's childish. It's childish gameplay at best. You can't get into any deep level of storylines. You can't when you create your character, you can't really explore the RP aspect. When you have a raid, there's no point. There's no stakes. There's no story behind that. You're just doing it to get items, zenny. You're doing it for the end results. It's not like in Star Wars Galaxies where you could, you know, build a temple and have a whole storyline and say what you want to people and interact how you want with people and have a freedom of speech and a community where you can go in the game and actually become your character. That's what an RPG is. It's role playing. There's no role playing here. It's strictly interaction via emojis. And so on the fighting end and the MMO end of Xenoverse, they need a lot of work. Now, I don't know if they're going to go into Xenoverse 3, but if they do, I really think that the developers need to consider whether they want to make a strong fighting game or a strong multiplayer RPG, because they're not doing good with doing one and the other at the same time. And everyone's heard the expression "jack of all trades and master of none," and I have to say this game is a lot like that. So I don't want to ramble on for too long. I know you guys have been patient enough to kind of stick this out with me and bear with me through this. But I feel like that the community deserves a game that we can actually um, enjoy and compete in and have tournaments in without all of the animosity uh, towards each other over the cheap system. So, anyways, that's what I think. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know what you think Xenoverse needs work on. And thanks so much for watching, and talk to you guys later. Bye.